भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta, Madhya Lila, chapter 19, entitled The Lord Instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Reading from verse 201. Krishna Jana Rukmini Re Koila Puridhas Krishna Chari Bena Jani Rukmini Ro Hoilo Trash. Translation: Although Krishna was joking with Queen Rukmini, she was thinking that he was going to give up her company, and she was therefore shocked. Text 202. Tasya sudukha bhaya shoka vinasta buddher yhasta chalata valayato vyajanam papata Dehascha viklava dhyasaha vai saiva muhyan rambhe vavata vihata pravikirya keshan. Translation: While Krishna was joking with Rukmini in Dwarka, she was full of distress, fear, and lamentation. She had also lost her intelligence. She dropped her bangles and the fan she was using to fan the Lord. Her hair became disarrayed and she fainted and fell suddenly, appearing like a banana tree knocked down by high winds. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Radhanath Swaminiti Namine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Pradayane Dagriva Pradayane Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here the verses that we read today, the two verses, it is in context of the previous few verses, text 192 to be specific, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing the two categories in attachment for Krishna. So one is attachment with awe and reverence to Krishna, and the other is pure attachment without any reverence. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes on to explain that the reverence, the pure attachment without reverence, that is only found in Goloka Vrindavan, and the attachment with awe and reverence is prominent in Mathura, Dwarka, and definitely in Vaikuntha. So that is where the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence, and it is very, very prominent. So, but in Gokul Vrindavan or in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna, the supremacy of Krishna is not present at all. You know, that everyone, out of their unalloyed love for Krishna, they treat Krishna on the same level as themselves. It is explained by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that it is actually, that even to the extent when Devaki and Vasudev, when they are, although they are in Vatsalya Ras, but it is, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that their Vatsalya Ras is out of complete awe and reverence. It's in the mood of Mathura. And it's, when Krishna appeared even to them as a baby, at that time also they were actually in fear and in awe and reverence to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The aspect that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead is never absent from the minds of Devaki and Vasudeva, as opposed to the love, the Vatsalya Ras of Nanda Baba and Jashoda Mata. That love, it is, Mother Jashoda actually thinks of herself to be very superior to Krishna, not only on the same platform as Krishna, but in fact to be very much more superior than Krishna, that she knows that she can chastise Krishna and she can, hold his ears and pull at his ears and do anything, chase behind him with a stick, bind him up with the grinding mortar, do anything with that, naughty boy that she has with her. And Mother Jashoda, at one point, she actually, the fact that Krishna is supreme hit her very hard was when Krishna ate dirt. And when, Mother Jashoda came to check whether Krishna really had dirt in his mouth, and when Krishna opened his mouth, she could see the entire universe. And Krishna revealed everything in his mouth, and she could even see herself looking at Krishna's mouth. So that was, she could see everything in Krishna's, that tiny little mouth of his. So seeing that vision, Mother Jashoda, she immediately started offering prayers to Krishna, Sanskrit verses to Krishna. And she was completely in awe and reverence. And Krishna did not like that even one bit. He said that, no, from Mother Jashoda, the only thing that I like to hear is her chastisement. So I do not like all this Vedic hymns that Mother Jashoda is, chanting. I would rather like that when she's chastising as opposed to when she's chanting. No, I don't like this. So then Krishna immediately ordered Yogamaya to cover Mother Jashoda, put Mother Jashoda in illusion. And immediately Yogamaya covered Mother Jashoda, and by being covered by Yogamaya, she completely again forgot that Krishna is that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she immediately said, Krishna, you ate dirt, come. And she caught hold of his ears and then dragged him inside, cleaned his mouth, and Krishna was supremely happy. So the difference is that, yes, all of us, be it eternally liberated souls or eternally conditioned souls, both of these, living entities are always under Maya. That is the bottom line. There's no escaping of that. But we will always be under Maya. Now we can choose to be under which Maya? Do we choose to be under Mahamaya or do we choose to be under Yogamaya? The thing with being with Mahamaya is that we will forget the supremacy of Krishna out of envy towards Krishna. And the potency of being under Mahamaya and Yogamaya is that we will forget the supremacy of Krishna out of love. So that is the difference between Nitya Siddhas and Nitya Baddhas. Nitya Baddhas are under Mahamaya, who forget the supremacy of Krishna out of their envy for Krishna. And Nitya Siddhas, the eternally liberated souls, are also under illusion, but they are under the internal potency. Under Yoga Maya, they are forgetting the supremacy of Krishna out of their pure unalloyed love for Krishna. So when we see this is very, very beautiful difference. In the later verses that we read after 202, you will see that Lord Chaitanya, he's talking about Kevala, which is called as unalloyed devotion. Then he goes on to explain in 204 and 205 the love of Mother Yashoda, the Vatsalya Ras, in forgetting the supremacy of Krishna, in not having the awe and reverence towards Krishna. That aspect is being described. And before this, we see that Devaki and Vasudev's parental love is being discussed with awe and reverence. So we need to understand that, of course, the highest form of Kevala love, the unalloyed love, is the Goloka Bhav, which is forgetting the supremacy of Krishna and not dealing with him out of awe and reverence. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only describes the Vatsalya Ras, which is conspicuous to the fact of having no awe and reverence to the Supreme Lord, but he also describes, Mahaprabhu also describes Sakhya Ras. Mahaprabhu describes Vatsalya Ras, of course, and then he also describes Madhurya Ras, the love that the gopis and Srimati Radharani have for Krishna. So at these different levels we can see, and today the verses that we read, 201 and 202, this is talking about the Madhurya Ras, but in awe and reverence towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this particular verse that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started off with in text 201 is Mahaprabhu is quoting Queen Rukmini. The scene is that when Krishna entered Mathura, and when Queen Rukmini came to know that Krishna is going to come to visit her palace, she personally, she had so many maidservants at her disposal. So the maidservants were doing their services, and Mother Rukmini, she also personally started cleaning the floors. And it is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the floors were already spotlessly clean. There was not a speck of dust in them. But still, Rukmini Devi was cleaning because she didn't want that Krishna, she wanted everything to be just perfect when Krishna enters. That was the extent of her love towards Krishna, that she just was, wanting and so eager to welcome the Supreme Personality of Godhead into her quarters. So when Krishna came, she immediately washed his lotus feet, and then she offered him some fruits, she offered him tambula, and then she was fanning him on the side. She was standing next to Krishna, and she was fanning Krishna. And then Krishna, he was in a very jovial mood, and they are, of course, husband and wife. And Krishna, out of his naughty jovial nature, he started teasing Rukmini Devi. And he started teasing in this way, saying that, oh, my dear Rukmini, you are such a amazing princess. You were so rich. You had so much opulences. So many princes prince of the world were ready to come and become your husband. But who did you choose? You chose me. I'm a cowherd boy. I don't have any wealth, no opulence. I am poor. And you chose me. Why did you do this? You are, just by knowing you have, put an axe on your feet. Like this, Krishna was teasing and joking with Rukmini Devi. But the love that Rukmini Devi has towards Krishna, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport also in 202, that although Krishna was simply just, saying all this out of, a joking nature, also to some extent to test her sincerity, but, he was just joking with Rukmini Devi. But Rukmini Devi took it so seriously, and she thought that Krishna wanted to leave her company, and this was the reasons why Krishna was giving. So this kind of misunderstanding of Krishna's words totally disturbed the mind of Rukmini Devi and made her moon-like face. It is explained that it just shrunk, and it was like all the luster from her face disappeared. She was so much in anxiety, and that her whole body was completely affected. You could see that, there is something wrong with Rukmini Devi. And then the bangles from her hand fell off. It is said that the fan that she was using to fan the Supreme Lord, that fell on the floor, and even she herself fell down like a banana tree, completely unconscious. So she could not imagine that Krishna would, talk like this in a jovial manner, because she has only an awe and reverence relationship with Krishna, although she is in Madhurya Ras. That is the difference, as opposed to the gopis. The gopis, it is said that Srimati Radharani, one day, she dressed herself very, very nicely. She took time to get adorned by all the gopis. Like one of the gopis, who is Chitra Devi, she is very, very expert in painting the lotus feet and lotus hands of Srimati Radharani with alta. Alta is this red liquid dye, and she takes so much she does such intricate designs, and with so much time she actually sat down and decorated Srimati Radharani's lotus hands, lotus palms, and her lotus feet with this beautiful alta, and she was looking gorgeous. The palms of her hand and her lotus feet was looking so gorgeous. Then Sudevi Gopi is extremely expert in making Srimati Radharani's hair look so beautiful. Every time she ties Radharani's hair, she does a different kind of a design. It's very, very, with great expertise, Sudevi dresses Srimati Radharani's hair. So she did a very beautiful work on Srimati Radharani's hair. And then the lotus face of Srimati Radharani was decorated with sandalwood pulp by one of the other gopis. Then Lalita Sakhi came and she put on some very, very beautiful ornaments on the body of Srimati Radharani. She put a gem-studded, like blue sapphire-studded necklace, like a choker on her neck, which matched with her blue sari. Then she had a red blouse on because the blue sari had red dots all over the blue sari. So she was wearing a contrast kind of a blouse. So Srimati Radharani's belt that adorned her very thin waist, it was made with pearls, diamonds, blue sapphire, and red ruby. That was the combination of the belt, waist belt that Srimati Radharani was wearing. And then she wore big, long pearl necklaces, very, very beautiful crystal kind of necklaces. She was wearing golden bangles, red bangles, blue bangles, and one very, very, very beautiful, thick, like a kangan, like a thick bangle she was wearing, one on the farther end of her arm and the one towards the wrist, and the other small bangles were in between. So like this, different colors she was wearing it with matching jewelry she was wearing. And then finally, Sudevi Gopi, she put on a very beautiful tinkling ankle bell in Srimati Radharani's lotus feet. Her lotus feet, her toes were adorned with, gem-studded toe rings. And then in her fingers, she wore, 4 rings on each of her, like 2 rings in one hand, 2 rings on the other. Like this, Srimati Radharani was, very beautifully decorated. Then she wore very nice long earrings. Her hair was decorated with fresh flowers. And then finally a very, very beautiful garland made with fresh forest flowers was put on her. So like this, the gopis, the sakhis of Srimati Radharani, took so much time in decorating and adorning Srimati Radharani. And they brought her into the meeting place that Vrinda Devi had very expertly decorated, and Srimati Radharani was made to sit on a, very nicely decorated flower asana. There were golden creepers that were, giving a very nice shade, like a canopy over the asana. Everything was so beautiful, the bumblebees were running around in ecstasy, because the flowers were so nice around the kunja that Vrinda Devi had selected. The parrots and the birds were nicely chirping. So everything was ready for Krishna, Sri Shamasundara, to come. And Krishna was not coming. So all the gopis were waiting and waiting and waiting. Srimati Radharani is waiting. And Krishna is still not there. And then finally, after a long, long time of waiting, Sri Shamasundara, he came. When Krishna came, Lalita Sakhi got so angry at Krishna, and she is actually elder to Krishna. So Lalita Sakhi came and started scolding Krishna that, why did you come late, Krishna? How dare you come late? Do you know how much of trouble our dearest Sakhi went through to get ready for you? And because of you, she made all these decorations on herself. She adorned herself so beautifully for you, and you have you don't care. You just came so late. How can you do this, Krishna? In this way, Lalita Sakhi started, showing each and every ornament to Krishna and saying, see, look at this. Look at this waist belt that Radhe is wearing. Look at her choker that she is wearing. She has personally selected each and every one of the ornaments on her body. Why? Just to please you. And you don't even care. You are coming so late. How can you do this, Kanha, like this? Lalita Devi was rebuking Krishna. And Krishna, he just held his head low, and he was accepting all the chastisement that Lalita Sakhi was, pouring down at him. And then, finally, Srimati Radharani, she just caught hold of Lalita Sakhi's hand and said, okay, Lalita, now you can, stop, it's okay. Yeah, it's Krishna understands. And then, of course, they went on with their regular pastimes. But just to give this analogy that here, there is no presence of awe and reverence. No presence whatsoever. Even to the slightest degree, Lalita Sakhi is not even considering that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That how can she rebuke and be angry at the Supreme Personality of Godhead? She is considering herself not even on the same platform, but even higher than Krishna, that she can chastise Krishna for being late. That is the difference. So we should understand that it's not that the love of, Mother Devaki and Mother Jashoda, that one is higher and one is lower, or the love of Rukmini Devi as opposed to the love of, Lalita Sakhi or Srimati Radharani, that one is lower and one is higher. Or even the other analogy of, Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna, when Krishna manifested his universal form, before these verses, that, Arjuna is, feeling so terrible that when Krishna revealed his universal form, Arjuna is actually feeling so guilty that I took you for granted, Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he started offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As in awe and reverence, Arjuna did that. He's also a friend of Krishna. But as opposed to Sridham Madhumangal, these boys, when Krishna is defeated, don't care. You may be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You lost. Now I'm going to come on your shoulders and you have to carry me. That's it. That is also described here in the later verses. So here we can see the clear analogy of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in awe and reverence, and worshipping him without awe and reverence. Now, is the love of Arjuna as opposed to the love of Madhumangal and Sridham? One is not higher, one is not lower. No. Arjuna is never going to think that, oh, let me come to the level of Sridham and Madhumangal, then my life will become perfect. No, they are completely satisfied in their own rasa towards Krishna. And that is what makes it complete and perfect. They know, but that they are in that level of their individual rasas with Krishna, and they are completely satisfied in that. But we need to understand that these, the awe and reverence, the love with awe and reverence is less intimate than the love without awe and reverence. The love without awe and reverence, it has no boundaries. It is more intimate. That is the only difference. It's not higher or lower. We need to be very careful to understand this aspect, that we should not think that, oh, these devotees, they worship Krishna with awe and reverence, so we should, never think like that. We should rather, for us, we are in no category at all, first of all. So for us, we need to take shelter to understand these different kinds of levels, these different kinds of, rasas, these different kinds of exchanges. And of course, by the mercy of, our Guru Maharajas, the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, all of our Guru Vargas, we will one day be able to achieve the stage of Kevala, which is unalloyed devotional service. That is the perfection that is awarded by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself alone. That is the special mercy that we have in Kali Yuga, that we are given this opportunity, being in this most fallen condition that we are in, but by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these most esoteric subject matters are revealed to us, so that we can actually try to follow in these footsteps of these Mahajans and, somehow or the other try to imbibe that same mood, the mood that Srila Prabhupada gave us, the mood that our Guru Vargas are giving us. We should try to follow in that. And simple process is by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is the source and the ultimate objective of all perfection. That is the bottom line. Srila Prabhupada says that simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one's entire lifetime, it is a perfection. So just by having faith in those words of Srila Prabhupada, we will be able to achieve the perfection of our lives, which is to attain unalloyed devotional service to the divine couple, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. So with this, we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki Jai. If there's any questions, comments, or reflections, we can take that now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Very, very sweet, very, very sweet pastime. It was very meditative. Thank you so much, Mataji. I really liked what you said, that, we were talking about how people worship in awe and reverence, and then about the gopis of Vrindavan, and then you said actually we are nowhere. I mean, the way you said it, it was very, very sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the very, very sweet class, Mataji. Very beautiful. Hare Krishna.
The reason why I said it is because I completely believe in it, and that's why I think it came across very genuinely, because I truly believe in it.
I mean, it was so nice. It was so beautiful the way you said it. Thank you. Anyone else has any questions or comments for Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Kishori.
Thank you so much, Mataji. You have set us in a right mood to meditate on whole day.
Thank you.
Also, Mataji, my Prabhu had this question that how can we be envious of Krishna?
Right. The thing is that we actually, because it sounds very crude, it sounds very crude that, where is Krishna? Where is the comparison? I don't even, can't even think like that. How can, I be envious of God? Well, it is a very hard nut to crack, actually. But the thing is that we need to understand that the reason why we are in this material world is because of this fact, that we actually rebelled against Krishna. We became envious of Krishna, and we wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna. That is why we are here. The proof of the, pudding is in the eating. The very fact that we are here is proof that we are actually envious of Krishna. Now, we may not understand it right now because it seems very esoteric, in the sense that it seems very far-fetched that why would I ever be envious of the Supreme Lord? I can be envious, say, of my neighbor, right? I can be envious of someone like that, but why would I ever be envious of God? The very fact that then what is the harm in chanting Hare Krishna? Then what is the harm in following Krishna consciousness? The very fact that we do not want to do all of that, that in itself is showing our rebellious nature. But, why would we be envious towards Krishna? The answer to that would simply be that it's because we want to enjoy separate from Krishna. That is why we are envious towards Krishna. Because we don't see, the closest analogy that Srila Prabhupada gave is about a teenage child. They don't want their parents to be involved when they go partying with their kids, with their friends. Because they feel that, parents are a big bore, they'll come and impede my enjoyment. I don't want to be with my parents, rather I'd like to be with my friends. I don't want to take my parents to the party. Why would I do that? Because if my parents come to the party, they'll not allow me to do what I want to do. So rather, I want to go without my parents. That's exactly the situation we are in. Now, that does not really, say that, okay, I'm envious of my parents, but it actually means that I want to enjoy separate from my parents, and therefore I don't want them as part of my life, which implies that, yes, I am envious of my parents. You understand? Does that make sense?
Yes, Mataji, to me it does. I hope I'm able to explain the same to him.
It's very difficult to explain it. But yeah, that's the, rather than saying envious, you should just say that we want to enjoy separately from Krishna by giving that analogy of the teenage kid. That seems more relevant, at this stage.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Any more questions? Comments? All right. Priti Vilasini Mataji, you want to go ahead and end?
Okay, Mataji. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you again, Mataji. We feel very, very happy when you're on the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki jai. Her Grace Kalasudha Mataji ki jai.
Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you all so much.
Very nice explanation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna.